Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the breakfast show. Money Talk with SmartRobie. I'm your host, Martin Wong. As usual, the long weekend, I hope you had a good rest. As I said before, the weekend is time to rejuvenate the soul and relook at the market this week as we battle on, right? So there were many things that happened last week. So we will also look at this week. It's going to be interesting as we look forward to the Merdeka celebration that we will have, I think, next Tuesday. That's right. And also at the same time, next Tuesday, we will have a special live FB, which I will talk about, is the launching of our Bursa SmartRobie. That's right. Our Bursa SmartRobie will be launched. So I would do a bit of talk with one of the celebrity chefs, but it will be a program in Bahasa. So that will be quite interesting for those of you who like to see and hear SmartRobie to converse in Bahasa. Now, let's look at the story, what we have for you today, shall we? Now, the story is no other than, right, the private consumption. That's right. The private consumption in Malaysia, we've seen over the COVID-19 has fell. I think this is no surprise. If you look at the chart here, right, we have this market just slammed down over the month of June. That simply tells you this is due to the COVID and declining income, insufficient savings, virus, is all those reasons that were stated in this article. But if you look back on an annual to annual basis, which is not so bad. In 2015, we were still at the 6%, 2016, 17, 18, we almost hit 8. And on the basis of our government as well as private consumption, we should be increasing, but I think I felt of this small, which is acceptable. After all, all the GDP growth in the world has also fallen, so this is no surprise if this market continue to fall too. So the article really focused a lot on what's happening inside here is the economists forecasting a contraction of 0.9% to 2% for this year, which is still below the 7% trend. I think this is small issue right now. I think maybe economists is just taking it a bit too serious, but when the economy resumes, as we've seen many countries in Europe as well in the US, I do believe our private consumption in Malaysia will continue to move up. Something that we should not worry about, but just to think along the line. That's right. Now, also this morning, if you notice, our market is still pretty much around the 1576 that you can see on the right hand side here. Hasn't really gone far or gone much in here. All right, let's move on to our next story, shall we? And our next story will be no other than, the foreign fund. Now, the foreign fund continued to sell. The story talks about we have 4 buying streets of foreign funds, so which is very good, right? When we see foreign funds coming in, we do have a past correlation that foreign funds come, our KLCI will go higher. And this is quite important because I have talked about this. If the market have to break the 161H, which we saw last year until around the 30th of December, so the foreign funds need to come in. So the story goes along the line that we have the market coming in due to the foreign funds buying for buying the road. Then we saw them leaving because usually when they buy, they will leave too. So the foreign fund all accumulated selling they sold about 151.1 million in here. So this is why I think very important that we need to keep in touch whether the foreign funds are buying or the foreign funds are selling. And if the market to go higher, to break above the 1.6, as I repeat again, we need to have foreign funds really coming in to buy. And as long as we have this foreign fund continue to come in and buy, we will see higher high or KLCI, which is quite important. I think many of you who are audience and listening should want to know that too. Now, let's look at the next story, which was featured on the Starbase. And this is an undervalued engineering company that will benefit a lot on the Sarawak. That's right. Now, we know that will be a Sabah election in here. Sarawak is pretty much under the Perikatan Nasional in here. So a lot of projects will be dished out in here. And definitely one of them are the water-related job. Along the same line, the story also talk about the national fiberization, which has been ditched, for the time being. So they want to focus on water rather than internet. Interesting. Now, so the story talk about KKB engineering. If you look at it, let's check out the fundamentals, shall we? All right, KKB before we talk about the story around here. Very interesting. Just want to show the stock fundamentals, right? It tells you this is only PE of 8, so not many people are talking about it, but has an ROE of 14 and they pay a 3.7% historical dividend. So as such, the profit target price for this based on 10 times, 10.5 times PE, you can see right at the middle there, it is 2 ringgit and 7. Right now is 161. I do think today, based on this story, this should be up. Yep, 0.6. Not many people know about it yet. So those of you especially who are listening from Sarawak, right, maybe you want to check out this and look into it. Just type in the so-called the KKB website that you see up here, 7 out of 8, maybe something to talk about, all right? So the story talks about here that they are eyeing for some project close to about 1.2 billion to 4 billion from the past last year 2.8 billion. So that is something which is quite good contributing to KKB. Relatively unknown because they are a small cap stock. Of course, I do believe there are some political link with this kind of stock. So they also stated, right, they have a 10% success rate, which should give them probably a forecast of additional 1.2 billion of so-called contract coming in here and here. So that's going to be good. And what else? And so far, in 2019, they've been rather successful, almost securing 214 million in open tender in 2019. So something that you can think of. Let's look at the chart, shall we? Okay, let's look at the chart in here for KKB. Yes, that's right. You can see right now we has green pentagon. So someone knows something, isn't it? Right, that's right. So that's right. Usually the market will start to move first, and that's why green pentagon, which is by SmartRobie, very smart. Even 4 or 5 days ahead of this, before this news. Who knows? SmartRobie can read newspaper, but we shall see. All right, I want to share with you something very unique feature which we'll launch for the 31st of December. Together with the SmartRobie Bahasa version, right? This is something I will share with you today. And guess what? You can start using it today, all right? So this is a new feature which I will talk about it shortly in the next couple of slides. Let's move on to our next story. Now, the next story talks about from Msia Private, which is a good friend of mine, and I'm sure she's listening to me now. And as I said, that she has a good eye for good stocks. Now, let's talk about the future of TNB. We all know TNB and we all need TNB. TNB has been a power provider in here, but what's happening in all the traditional utilities and oil and gas, they are looking into renewable energy. So the story talk about renewable energy and what TNB is doing going forward. One of the things they wanted to do is what? Dwelling into renewable energy for 2021 by doing acquisition. Now, you know that TNB all the while has been building a lot of coal fire plants, nothing nuclear yet, all the traditional one, and it's all very climate not friendly. You know, there's a climate change and agenda going on. So this is where the renewable energy, and you have seen the renewable energy like SL West and some of those, EPIC, I think, who just got IPO, has done higher valuation. The movement of EVs should Joe Biden wins too, this coming 3rd of November, then we will see the agenda of climate change will come into place, and a lot of the renewable energies will do pretty well. So this thing is the same thing too. So it also talk about TNB taking the initiative to identify key areas that should contribute 120 billion into growth and more jobs for the country in there. So it's a good article. Do take a look and read it over in the Star paper, or you can just go over to the star.biz, and there's a lot more information that Msia has written, which might get your thinking mind to go into renewable energy. No doubt renewable energy profitability may not be as good as the fossil fuel, but it is the future. All right, so keep in mind for that part. All right, let's move on to our next section. Now, the sixth section talk about COVID-19. Now, remember, just last Wednesday, we talked about the COVID-19 vaccine counter versus gold. We did mention Pharmaniaga and Dual Pharma for the local one. For the US one, you want to catch the same video, which is available on the YouTube channel. Just go over and click on it and watch. So I have talked about several counters in US, in Hong Kong, which is listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange, as well as the Malaysian one. Now, in this news, Pharmaniaga takes the news as they are preparing to take in the COVID vaccine. So what the news basically talk about, look, government, please, we are ready. Our plan is ready. Please give us our order and we will start printing. As such, the news of this, Pharmaniaga has also moved. Let's check it out in here, Pharmaniaga, and we hit it in here. Let's look at the stock price today as we see the chart going up. Right, so today the market is up 7%. That's right, 7% in here. If you look at the stock chart, again, last week the market just was on a nice pullback. We can see Ptrans, but up 7%. So right now it is 464. So the question is this a good time to take or to go in? Now, out of the two, for one, I rather like Duo Pharma because I think government may not dish out to two, but I do believe, looking at this context, Duo Pharma will also be up. Now, then again, a lot of this is depend on government. How much are they coming in? Definitely, government still need to give out that project because of the, if you've been following my talk last Wednesday, when the vaccine do come in, whether it is from the Chinese or most likely it's from the Chinese, not so much from the US side, because the Chinese will try to, curry favor with the local governments because they want to influence their administration, right, compared to, sorry about that, right? So we can see that is definitely coming in from the country standpoint, okay? So this is why Pharmaniaga is something for you to take a look at, for those of you who like to trade this. Now let's go on to the next part, which also they talk about the net profit that they have made, 32.3 million compared to 28.9 million last year. So like it or not, let's look at Duo Pharma for what it is. So let's look at the stock fundamental for Duo Pharma. Now Duo Pharma, like it or not, is still making a net loss from last year. It does pay one slight of short of 2% in here. It is overvalued. But again, can this turn the company Pharmaniaga into black? I think maybe there is a chance for it, but then again, we have to see how much. I do think the repercussions from the COVID-19 will see a lot of vaccine been made, not so many, been distributed because they're going to buy in bulk and repackage it in here and distribute to everyone. And I do believe the government will intend to give this FOC, so they are not going to make much money out from it, but probably from the storage, which is still considerable too, if this becomes one of the standard 18 months to 24 months contract, which usually they take. So we will have to see whether this could be the area to come into, but they have presented this. That's what they say, they are ready for that one. So government will have to see, okay lah, we have to give something to you, okay? All right, look at the chart, and again, look at the fundamental too. All right, let's move on to the next story that we have for you in here is no other than the new things that we have. Discover daily news for trade idea. This is something that we find very suitable for those newbie, okay, newbie or new investor or new trader. No matter whether you are young or you're old, you will find this very suitable for you. And how to do this? This is absolutely free. You can click on the KLCI news, right, and right at on the right hand side there, okay, right on the right hand side there, you could see, let me just bring this again, all right, you could see, let me just bring this back again, right, you could see here is where you have the news sentiment, right, where we look back to the 20th of August. Now, some of you may like news-driven trade ideas, so this is how it is. So if you look at it from what we have here, we have FGV, which is positive. What does positive means? It means sentiment is positive, Pentagon is green. Okay, so FGV aimed 12 million sales from pineapple projects in Perlis, which was dated August 21. So this is something good for those of you who don't know much about Pentagon and want to start off by looking at the buy and sell signal in here, and you want to trade on news. So very positive is Yinson, Pentagon is green. So we will take a Malakoff is also green. Dayang is green. If you look at this, Yinson, Dayang are both oil and gas. So maybe let's look at Dayang. You hit 5141, and we'll look at the stock chart. Okay, stock chart is still not ready yet. It's still red. Okay, that's not so good. Let's look at the green one. I want to see some green stuff in here. Okay, Pentagon is green, Malakoff. Let's look at Yinsun, 7292. Double click that one. and you hit on stock comment and stock chart. Now this is also available after hours if you don't want to use that one, but it's fine. Now this is where I talk about, wow, this one very nice, isn't it? You look at it, we have, especially those of you who come to our class, no supply. That's right, no supply spring test. What do you ask for? Okay, if the oil and gas, many of you think is going to hit $45 in here, Yinson is definitely going to be one of your stock pick. Another one coming in, very easy for all our new investor, for those of you who are in the senior as well as the younger one who like to buy news. That's right, so when news comes out, this is something good for you. Just use the KLCI news and discover daily news for trade idea. That's right, and the news will be updated every half an hour or so. So check it out again in the next half an hour. There's some news. There will be new trade ideas based on news in here. So here you can discover, right? Even some of those before it run higher, you're able to buy in here. All right. So take note of this new feature from SmartRobie. As I said before, SmartRobie gets smarter by every day. If you like this, give me a thumbs up and please use this on the daily basis and let me know your feedback too on the KLSE news and also daily news for trade idea. Let's move on to the next story that we have. It's no other than the new feature of SmartRobie every day. Discover a new feature. Now the new feature I'm going to talk about is the FAQ, which is available on the tab menu setting. So FAQ, you can hit the help bar here over here, and then the FAQ come up. You can scroll it. There are some instruction how to use SmartRobie more effectively. Some video talk about how to buy on the setup and some testimonial in there. So things that would use, and also a help desk, someone you can talk to, which is our help desk. And also you can WhatsApp if you get some information or queries that you have, something that will help you. Of course, going forward, those of you who are very keen to share this in your timeline or share this to your WhatsApp friend, you will get 200 credits. That's right, 200 credit for your initiative as well as your token appreciation. When you share with your friend and they download, you get 200 credit, and guess what? You can use it for the premium alert, which I will talk about on the next section. Next right. So on the next section is the premium alerts. Bonus. Now last week we picked the 17th of August, which is last week, I think Monday, right? We got the bonus MGB, which is actually an ML Global, a very construction share, and they are tied to LBSB now. So these stocks have moved up. You can see 22.3% since 17th of August. So pretty good one. Again, take note, not all trades go up. This is just one of the good ones that we pick up, and it did move, right? But last week we did have a few good ones, Wegman, LBS, and also VS. I think this morning continued to go up. So what do we have for you today? All right, we will see the next slide. Now the next slide, the next one will be ARRB. Now how do I know that? You can go back to the main menu, hit that credit on the premium alert. You can see we got Chin Hin, Hector, KUB, KSSC, the noise. Wow, this one is good one, 7114. I particularly like, you see Fajar also moved, right? Fajar came out also on the KLCI new sentiment trade idea early on, right? Because every 30 minutes it will refresh. Goodway, PUC, wow, a lot. Edison, Iberhard, wow, banyak jalan ada. MP also jalan inside here. So the one they like was ARRB. Let me just type in ARBB, okay. And we'll pick one more too, okay, for today. So we'll look at the stock price. And this one is up 1.6%. Hasn't a big run yet. That's what I like about it. We don't want to have too much of the big run. And we go on to the stock chart. Okay, there you go. This is how it looks like on a hourly chart. Switch on to the daily chart. Daily chart, I think I went on to the weekly chart. That's right, the daily chart. This one is just comes up in here. When the for dip, it's trying to move up in here. ARRB is a technology stock. It's to reverse takeover. Let's choose another one. I don't want to choose the pharma one. I think you all know about it. MYSC is the other stock that I like. Okay, Hector, KUB, Industrial, KSSC, the noise. Let's look at this stock, 7114, and look at the stock price. That's 6.4%, a 56.4% grown in up today. Hit that one button there. Okay, and we will see. Okay, this one's not bad. I like this. You can see the trend really pushing up. The noise is the next one that I like, so maybe I'll make a note here. I will choose AARB and DNONCE. This is, I think, is a renewable energy, if I'm not mistaken. They have some technology in here, but that will be the stock pick for 24th of August, episode 44, which is today. And we will come back to review on Wednesday. All right. So those are the two stocks, ARBB and DNONCE. All right. So let's move on. Okay. Close this one here and come back to here. So for our Wednesday talk, so make sure you catch me for our Wednesday talk, will be on plastic counter. That's right. Can KLCI plastic counter grow as big as rubber glove like Top Glove and Hatta Lega? So join me this Wednesday 9:30 and do share this talk in here as I'll go through some of the plastic sector that you've seen where their customers are Bissell, Dyson, Electrolux, Technotronic, Sharp, Pioneer, Sony, Fujitsu and Flextronic. How you can benefit from the plastic counter. So this Wednesday 9:30. Right before that, I also want to share something with our fellow members in here. This is join our Telegram chat room and to get free information, or you can download a copy of SmartRobie and also get many good features. Just like one of the new features we talk about is the KLCI news and discover daily news for trade idea. Something you can use if you want to know, and it's totally free on that one. So give me your feedback, and of course go over to the Google Play Store and Apple Store to give us a good feedback on SmartRobie, so we will always be in your mind. So that's all we have for this morning in here. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy watching the breakfast show Money Talk with SmartRobie as much as I enjoy presenting to you, reading the good and daily news so you can put money in your pocket. So if not, I'll see you on Wednesday morning and then later on Wednesday night. Bye bye. Thank you for watching, and do share this video in your timeline.